Hello and welcome to the peer review video for our 3D Interactive Media Development Module, Coursework 1, Submission 2. This peer review video will be conducted by Team 3, which consists of Naflan, Shemeshi and Themiya. Today we will be reviewing Team 2's work in progress video, and their project is called Lego Ring Survival Showdown. Team 2 consists of Sharen, Ashfaq and Tisenu. A basic overview of their project is that this is a fighting game where the user is set in a boxing ring and the user has to fight against these zombies for a certain amount of time. According to the features, there's a countdown, so up to 30 seconds to 1 minute there'll be a countdown, and once at the end of the countdown the round ends, where you have to either beat the zombie or the round ends and the game ends there. There's a difficulty selection for this game from easy, medium to hard, and there are certain power-ups that the user can use to defend against these zombies. Here are a few suggestions that me and my teammates came up with. First is to add a boss wave. After every third wave, maybe add a boss wave where each boss zombie has a unique ability. For example, there can be a boss zombie that copies the most recent power-up used by the user for a certain duration, something like that. The second suggestion is additional movements. Since it's set in a boxing ring with character models with boxing gloves and all, players can have additional movements such as a dodge or a parry that would make the game more interactive. Third suggestion is to add a parry mechanism. This parry mechanism is very popular in certain games like Elden Ring, Dark Souls 1, 2, 3. Most of the Souls-like Soulsborne game use these parry mechanisms, which adds a huge skill level to the game and makes it really interesting. This parry mechanisms could work, for example, if the player gets a perfect parry, the enemy gets stunned for a certain amount of time, let's say for 3 seconds maybe. This would make the game really interesting and sort of add a difficulty to the game as well. Fourth suggestion is space constraint. This is sort of a suggestion. So when it comes to having multiple zombies in one fixed area, according to their model, the arena is going to be a boxing ring. So there's going to be limited space. So it's better to have this game as a, let's say, 1v1 or one-on-one, where it's player versus zombie, or a 1v2, player versus 2 zombies or player versus 3 zombies, but not to increase the number so that the arena gets packed and the player doesn't really have much movement to do. Fifth suggestion is to add a scoreboard system where each enemy kill grants a certain amount of score points. Each perfect parry grants a certain number of score points, and etc. Sixth suggestion is to add a stamina bar. This is to ensure that players don't abuse certain moves, especially these power-ups. They don't over-abuse them to sort of ease their way through certain levels or certain rounds. Seventh suggestion is to add a penalty system where sort of certain environmental penalties, like for example during extreme cold weather during this round, the player's movement is slowed down by a certain percentage, or you could add a flow is lava kind of situation or a round where the user has a limited amount of maneuvering abilities, where the user can't really step in this lava, where the user will lose HP points or health percentage points. Eighth suggestion is to have these abilities as unlockable abilities. Not sure unlockable is a word, but killing the boss grants the user certain power-ups, or having the user unlock each power-up by killing the boss. So that this adds a sort of level up system where the user achieves something and they get a reward for it. Let's say you kill an enemy and you get a reward for it. This adds the game, this makes the game more interesting. Last suggestion is to add a multiplayer feature so that the game doesn't become repetitive, where every round it's just a new enemy where you have to fight them and win and go to the next round. This multiplayer feature would add a little bit of a change where they'll be going up against a real player with actual skill just like them. This is what me and my teammates were expecting the game to be, where there'll be a scoreboard here where each kill will increase your score. The boss and the user here is with the boxing glove and all. There'll be an HP bar and a stamina bar. So does the boss, an HP bar and a stamina bar, and a perfect parry will be mentioned under the stamina bar, that they are stunned for a certain amount of time, so that the user can, go in and attack and drain their HP. Bottom right corner will have the keybinds so that the user doesn't forget any of these keybinds as the game progresses. Overall, it's a very interesting project. The fighting game is such a popular genre in gaming, and I wish them all the best and thank you for listening.